Serious family portrait.
Oh, that's hard. Okay. I
Did you take it? Just do like a horrified look.
can't. Okay.
Like you're about to get in trouble.
1, 2, 3.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Vajayjays podcast. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Krista.
And I'm Liz.
And today we're going to be talking about how it is growing up as a Asian American in the USA. So a lot of us have, parents that either go from like really strict to like being really lenient. And we're just going to go into like some fun questions about basically growing up Asian.
All right, so question number 1, what kind of Asian are you?
Honestly, most people don't even think I'm Asian. So I'm Filipino.
Like Krista, I am also Filipino, but only half. The other half of me is actually Hispanic, and I don't know a bunch of other stuff. So I'm only half Asian.
But she's Asian. Don't forget that. She wants to be Asian.
I wanted to be Asian. Yeah, okay, I'll mention that. I wanted to be Asian my whole life. I grew up in Little Vietnam. It's called Little Vietnam now. So on Tully and McLaughlin, where all the Asians are. So all my best friends when I was in elementary school were Asian, and I would go over for like Lunar New Year and I would celebrate with them. My school was so Asian. We celebrated Lunar New Year like Halloween. So like you came and you're ao yai. Oh, am I good? Oh, look at me. You came in your ao yai, and I'm like, I had to go to Lion Market just to go buy one. And we walked around like it was Halloween. Like, I swear to you, that's how Asian my school was.
I don't know okay, everyone always thinks that I'm Vietnamese because my last name is Tran and all my family came from Vietnam. But my parents speak 3 languages. They speak Vietnamese, Mandarin, and Cantonese, and they taught us Cantonese growing up. So I consider myself Chinese. But everyone thinks I'm Filipino, which I take as a compliment because they're fun.
I also hail from the Tran clan. So
That's how we met.
Yeah, I love saying that. Tran clan for life. Definitely Vietnamese, and both my parents are from Vietnam. One from south and the other one from north. So yeah. Do you actually use your dishwasher the way it's supposed to be used?
So growing up in my house with my parents split, but before they split, I lived with my Asian grandma, and we never used the dishwasher. I didn't even know what it was for. I didn't even know how to use it. It was kind of just there, and I was like, what is this? My grandma would be like, a dishwasher. I'm like, why don't we use it? And she's like, I don't know. But my mom is not Asian, so any chance that my mom would use the dishwasher. And so now that I live with my mom and my Mexican grandma, we use the dishwasher all the time, to the point that my mom actually upgraded to a really fancy one. Okay, so you guys don't know this because you guys don't use dishwasher, but dishwashers are super loud and I hate it. And my mom always puts the dishwasher on at night because it's like after dinner, all the dishes from the whole day. And it's so loud and so annoying. It's literally like, I don't know, like maybe like a car wash or something, like like just obnoxious. And so now she got a really fancy one, and it's silent, and I don't know how. And it's a smart one, so like it'll automatically stop once all the dishes are completely dry, which is amazing because old dishwashers would leave like puddles like in your bowls, and they would be like half dry, and I'm like, what is the point of this? But it would, but it still sanitizes it. It still sanitizes it, so that's why like we like to use it. But
I never used mine, and when we did, it was to store big pots and pans, and just like they do with our oven. But when we remodeled my house in middle school, they completely took out the dishwasher, and now our kitchen doesn't even have it because like we just don't use it.
We did for a time. We used it, like I was like advocating we need to use the dishwasher for what it's meant for. But now they've just gone back to their old ways, like it's just a drying rack. And then when I went to the Philippines, they have literally like dish cabinets meant for like letting your dishes air dry. I even asked my grandma, I was like, when you go back home and you have such a luxury of a dishwasher. Why don't you use it? And she just goes, it's a cabinet.
No. I think during my whole time growing up, my mom also never used a dishwasher. And I think most of the time was because we didn't have enough plates to actually put in the dishwasher, because when you're constantly using it and like cooking and stuff, it's just like everything will eventually start to empty out. So she's like, it's just easier just to wash it and then just use it to like dry and put it away. But Michael's family uses a dishwasher, and it's amazing that they do, because I'm like, I think you're the first. I was like, I think you're the first Asian family that I know that actually uses a dishwasher for its real purpose.
Yeah.
But like, why do you think that is? Like, why don't you think? Why don't Asians use dishwashers?
I think in
Money.
our minds, it's like, yeah, money wise, they're like, oh, if you put it in the dishwasher, it runs, it like takes more energy and it takes, like uses more water, right?
Mhm.
But in actuality, it doesn't. But I also just like the feeling of cleaning it myself, because when I clean it, I feel if there's any leftovers, and then that way I don't have to be like, well, the stupid dishwasher like didn't get it, and now I have to wash it again. If I do it the
Yeah.
first time and it's right, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I love our new dishwasher, because it's like super high tech, like I said, and it has 3 shelves now. It's amazing. It's so nice. Trust me, when y'all buy a house, get a fancy one, smart one. It'll be worth it.
How do you store your rice? How do you cook your rice? And what do you do with your leftover rice?
Or uncooked rice, right?
Yes.
Leftover
Oh,
rice.
Let's
we
start from the
have
beginning.
we have that thing where you push the number for amount of cups and then the rice falls out.
I had that growing up too. But now, and my grandma still has it at her house, but now living with my Mexican mother, we don't have that. We have like those, those big old jugs with the lids. They're like huge.
Airtight ones, right?
Yeah, and there's like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we put our rice in those.
Yeah, that's what I use too.
You know at Christmas time at Costco and you get those big like popcorn tins?
Don't
So
tell
we
me you guys
just
put it in
like
there.
we just put it in there and you'll just see all these popcorn tins and you think like we're eating popcorn, it's our rice.
You guys do
it's-
have hella popcorn tins.
And it's not just one, there's multiple because we have so many kinds of rice. Well, we have basmati rice. We have the sweet sticky rice, the one you use for desserts.
Mhm.
We have like nishiki. So it's like
The
the
sushi
short,
rice?
yeah, the sushi rice, the short grain one. And they think we have brown rice. 4
Dang,
at
Jesus.
least.
How do we cook our rice? You mean like how do we measure?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Not to be
You guys do the
vulgar.
I
finger
used to
thing,
do the
right?
finger thing too, but then now I just follow the lines because our rice cooker just works like that. So
I do that sometimes too.
yeah,
It's just easier.
yeah, it's already there.
What do you do with your leftover rice?
Make fried rice
Or eat it
I don't
with
know.
the other leftovers.
or ketchup rice. Oh, so good.
I've never had ketchup rice.
I make
Stay
garlic rice with my leftover rice.
Ooh.
It's not really like an Asian thing, but I was making horchata, and I was like, I soaked the rice in water.
How often do you save takeout containers and bags, and where do you store them?
I save a lot of soup containers because my mom likes to pack food for me, and so I'll give her those containers and I leave them underneath the cabinet.
My parents would save like everything, bags, containers, and they all have like their own cabinet or they shove it in the oven, which is so annoying because every time you want to bake something, you have to take everything out of the oven. But me, I like don't keep anything because we have too much.
I mean, your parents don't keep like the styrofoam like to-go containers, right? They
No, but
check
if
those.
it's like plastic, they will because they're always like sending like my friends and stuff food home. So like you guys, so like she puts the rice and things in there.
So that was me. I would save the leftovers, like the leftover soup containers and stuff. And then my mom was like, now that my mom's like remodeling and cleaning the house, she's like, we don't need this. We don't need this. So I'm not allowed to anymore. But I told her it's like for like people like your mom, like to give leftovers. And then we had a
Yeah.
party and my grandma, she was like, can you give me Tupperware? And I was like, we don't have any. And I felt bad.
Okay, well, I'll keep like the clear, unmarked things, but like, like those Cool Whip plastic containers.
Yeah.
We used to save things like that and like old ice cream boxes. But I was like, no more of this like non-transparent things. Because like there was a time I opened the ice cream and it was freaking like frozen. I don't know how to like a pork's blood stew inside there, and it wasn't ice cream. I was so pissed. So we don't do that anymore. It's banned.
That sounds very disappointing. What utensils do you eat with?
I'm weird. I think you guys know, like, I don't use metal spoons and stuff anymore for like years, like maybe since high school, because I don't like the scratching sound of like the metal utensils on bowls and plates. So I have plastic forks, but they're like the ones that are reusable, not like the to-go ones, like a hard plastic fork. I'm weird. I'm like a kid.
I use a standard fork and spoon, and then chopsticks for like sushi or like noodle stuff.
Yeah, I mostly use like fork and spoon because I don't, it's funny, like some things I have to eat with my hands, but there are like other things that I don't want to eat with my hands. Like, for example, some Filipino food, I have to just pick it up. I don't know why. Like
That's so
longanisa,
Filipino.
the sausage, and with rice, I have to use my hands. But like a burger, sometimes I'm lazy and I use a fork and knife. A pizza, I definitely use a fork and knife. Don't know why I can't use my hands for that.
It's so greasy. I get it. I like put the pizza on the end of the plate and I'm like,
Growing up, I used my hands a lot just because I lived with my Asian grandma, and I don't know, that's just the way she made me eat. But now, whenever I eat Asian food, I do use a fork and a spoon or chopsticks, depending on what it is. I think only chopsticks really for like to sushi and noodles. And other food, I just really use a fork. How do you guys use chopsticks, and is it the correct way?
I have
Pens?
what are these called? Straws?
Why do you have
Or
so
they're
many
two
things
different
inside your
straws.
room? So really random things.
Wait, it's supposed to be like this, right?
Yeah.
I just do scissors.
Yeah.
I don't remember because I haven't used one in a while. I don't really
What?
I don't really use chopsticks. I use my stupid kid utensils.
She uses her fingers.
Did they ever get like they as in your parents? Did they ever get mad at you? Like you're supposed to use chopsticks?
No, because they've just been used to it since I was young. Like if I hear that scraping sound, for some reason it really hurts right here. Like, you guys know what I mean? Like it's like the nails on chalkboard for people, but for me it's like the bowls. If I hear my sister or someone scraping the bowl like to eat the whatever's left at the bottom, oh my gosh, I have to go like that. It's weird.
I don't. Yeah, I'm correct way. I don't know how you guys cross it. That seems harder.
I was never properly taught by my mom. She's just like, whatever is easier for you to like pick it up. She's like, just do that. Because like when we went to dim sum a lot too, a lot of the stuff in dim sum are kind of slippery to grab because they're very oily or like very saucy. And so I would just like jab it. Just
With one chopstick. Yeah.
Yeah, even though everyone says don't jab the food, that's really
Okay.
bad. I was like, I mean, it's gonna go in the same way and come out the same way. So
Wait,
Yeah.
why is that bad?
it's supposed to be similar to like
Incense.
incense, yeah.
When
You're
you
not
put,
supposed
like-
to stab things in.
When you rest your chopsticks inside your bowl of rice, I used to do that. I get in trouble all the time because they said it's like incense at like, when you're putting incense into the thing. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I got yelled at like Jen for doing that. I was like, okay, sorry.
Who yelled at you?
The waitress or waiter. They're like,
Oh.
you're not supposed to put your chopsticks like that.
I
I
do
was
that
like,
all the time. Didn't know.
I'm
My
half
bad.
Hispanic. The rules don't apply to me half the time.
you know what I'm saying?
God.
All right, do you guys eat at Panda Express?
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so good. I hate when people are like, oh, that's not real Chinese food. So Taco Bell is not real Mexican food, but guess what? The fake stuff is good. Like, oh, their orange chicken is so good.
Their
No, I
eggplant
totally
tofu
agree.
is bomb.
And they got vegetable egg rolls for people who don't eat meat like us. Oh my
Yes.
God, so good.
And find vegetable egg rolls at an authentic Chinese place. What is even authentic Chinese food? If you go to like Jade, China, that's still not real Chinese food. So
I think
why
that's a
are you
little
I
bit
mad?
go to
closer.
the ones that actually have Chinese names that I can't pronounce. I just know where it is.
Honestly, I think I ate at Panda Express a lot, as well as Taco Bell during college days because they had it on campus, and I was like,
Yeah,
it's
same.
cheap and it gets me full, and fuck it, I'm just gonna eat it.
I freaking love fortune cookies. Do you guys? Oh, I can like eat those. They're so good.
Yeah, those are bomb.
What do you eat for Thanksgiving?
My family doesn't do like we don't do like an Asian Thanksgiving. We do like the traditional American one, so with the turkey, the ham, mashed potatoes, and all that good jazz.
My family gets the turkey. I told you guys from KFC every year. And it's pretty bomb. I love turkey. Then my aunt always like makes a ham, and then we buy some Chinese food and like the typical like mashed potatoes and things like that too. So it's like a mix.
I think we're pretty mixed too. Like we always have like the American food, but we always have like a Asian table. Like one time we had like poke, and we did like a DIY sushi roll Thanksgiving one time, and then we also had a tandoori turkey. I don't know where the heck they got this thing, but like it was pretty good.
That sounds bomb. My family does have to, so we have all the American stuff, turkey and all that, and then we have like fried rice and chow mein, all those good little sides.
Who's the tallest person in your family? This is a joke because they always stereotype that Asian people are short. My tallest person is my dad. My brother's like almost there, but I think he's done growing.
Out of my family, it's my dad, and my dad was 6 feet, so no one gonna
6
pass me.
feet.
You're pretty
Yeah,
tall.
and then
Yeah,
you
you are
got my
tall.
mom, who's like quite the shorty. She's like 5'1". Even my niece is surpassing her. My niece is already at my shoulder. She's gonna grow taller than me.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old is your
Uh,
niece?
She's 10.
You know what's funny? Your niece is 10. She's like at your shoulder. Where am I? Am I at your shoulder or
I can
under it?
step on you.
I think you're like a little under.
Dude, a 10-year-old.
It's
She's
okay,
10 and I'm 26. No, it's like hilarious because like if Asians are short, right? Then I am like the shortest of the short because my grandma, like, as you get older, you kind of shrink a little bit. She was still taller than me until the day she passed. And I was like, how?
I'm the tallest person in my family. So because I'm mixed, on my Asian side, I tower over many of my family members, and I am only 5'6", 5'5". 5'6" is being generous, and I tower. Which was really sad because as a kid, like I used to my growth spurt happened probably in middle school, early high school, and they would make fun of me for being like this giant. And if not, then like the guys in my family are, if we're not the same height, I'm probably like an inch taller. It's really sad.
Mm.
It's okay, Alyssa. I totally felt you because I looked back at my my elementary school photos, and I was like, damn, I was hella tall. What the fuck?
You were.
I'm a giant hovering over these kids.
I always wanted to be tall though. I wanted to be 5'4" to 5'6".
You guys want to
Like, here
know
I am.
a fun fact? In middle school, when I think right before summer, before 7th grade, I think me and Alyssa were hanging out, and we were at the same height that time. Then Alyssa went away. I don't know, I think you went to Europe that summer. But
Yeah.
at the end of the summer, she came back. She was like freaking like double my size. And then my mom was like, dude, what happened to your friend? And I was like,
European food.
Then my mom got me like little growth pills that she heard on the radio, and
Oh
they were
my.
nasty. They were like giant pills. They were like the size of this top part of my finger, the part where you measure the rice water.
Yeah.
It was that big, and they didn't work.
Obviously, I'm just kidding.
It's okay, Krista. How do you guys... No, I should have someone else do this question because I'm the Vietnamese one. So someone else
True.
do this question.
How do you pronounce PHO?
The soup.
I'm not
Noodle
really
soup.
Vietnamese, but I grew up eating so much Vietnamese food. I say pho. Is that wrong?
No, that's right.
I say pho. Let's go eat some pho.
Yeah, pho.
We had to have the
Wait.
my coworker, she was dating someone, and he was like, oh, where do you want to go eat? And she's like, oh, I'm feeling a little sick, but if you want, she's like, would you want to go and get pho? She even said it before he said it, and he's like, yeah, I love pho. And she's like, yeah, I knew at that moment I had to cancel.
Wait, Tiffany, say it with like the accent the proper way.
I mean, I don't even know how are you guys saying it?
Oh,
Is
I
technically
forgot. phonetically
correct.
You also don't
Like
speak Vietnamese.
that the hat is just kind of like, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I mean, my if my mom didn't correct me, then it must be right, because otherwise my mom would have been like, and that's never good.
Do you wear sandals in the house?
No.
Alyssa, you wear sandals?
I wear sandals all the time. We have like house shoes. Well, in my house now, I don't have house shoes, but I wear sandals. I got them on my feet right now. Look at me.
Crocs? Just kidding.
No, not my Crocs. These are my Hawaiian sandals. But yeah, I was never allowed to be barefoot ever not at my house, not outside, not ever. I got yelled at. Even if I was just going to go run outside to go buy ice cream, I didn't have time to go put shoes on. The ice cream man is leaving.
Same. My parents always wear sandals in the house. Like they have house shoes. And when we were younger, we would always have to wear those or slippers. But then as we got older, I tried to like slowly stop wearing them because I just hated it.
No, barefoot over here in this house. My mom never told us to, because she's like, I don't got time to tell 6 children to wear their damn sandals around the house. She's like, just don't make it dirty, and don't wear your shoes inside the house. That's it.
That's the most important. I used to be like just barefoot. Everybody in my household used to be barefoot, but like when we got wood floors, everybody just started naturally wearing slippers, but I didn't like it. But for the longest time, like my sister would always be like, your feet are black, you need to wear slippers. And she would just like always get on me. And I was like, well, if I shower, the dirt is gonna go away. But so recently now I'm wearing slippers.
I just feel weird without wearing it. I don't know.
I feel trapped.
Wait,
I feel
so will
weird
you also
wearing it? Because I feel like even if they're inside shoes, in my head, I'm like, I'm bringing dirt and stuff around the house with these shoes. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I came inside. It's probably just a mind thing. I don't know.
I think so,
I don't know. I don't like my feet getting dirty. Like, and my feet are so like soft. Like, you know, people have like, my feet are not rough at all.
That's probably why your feet are soft. I don't have soft feet.
You know what I do, Catherine? Okay, because my slippers that I wear in the house, they're Crocs, right? And they're white, and I don't like how it looks dirty at the bottom, and I don't like to feel like I'm tracking it all over the house. So, like, if I take a shower, I'll bring the Crocs with me in the shower, and I'll just, like, rub my feet on the floor. I have a little scrubby brush and, like, scrub my Crocs.
Scrub my crotch.
You scrub
my Crocs.
You use that same brush to scrub your feet that you scrub your Crocs with? Is that what
No,
you say?
they're separate. There's a brush there just for like, well, they scrub the walls, but I scrub the walls and my Crocs.
Wait, so do you guys also do the same thing when you guys are at like a hotel then? So like, you know how you go in the hotel rooms and they have like carpet? Are you guys also wearing the sandals, the slippers that they provide?
If I wear my sandals in my house, I'm guaranteed wearing sandals in the nasty hotel.
I'll wear my shoes, but I don't. But at some point, I would probably take it off if I'm like, I know I'm gonna shower, then I run straight to the bed. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm disgusted.
No, I can't do it. I literally have house or hotel slippers in my duffel bag right now, like just ready to go. Like I only wear those at hotels.
Dang.
Wow.
Catherine, I'm totally with you. Now. I'm just like bare feet all the way, and I'm like, you know what? This isn't my place. It's gonna get gross. They're gonna wash it, hopefully.
Because like you're laying on the bed anyways. It's probably not even clean, to be honest.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah, you're right. Even like in the shower, like I used to be so weird. Like as a kid, when I played softball, we used to go to hotels very often. So that's also why. And I would be like, Dad, there's no mat. What do I do? And we would put a towel.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
In the tub. Oh, okay. Maybe we're just all Asian.
Wait,
okay, cool.
In the tub?
Oh, in the tub. I thought you meant
Yeah.
outside the bathtub.
Both.
Yeah.
Oh, I put one outside the bathtub. I don't put
Wait,
it
if you
inside.
put it in the tub, you're just soaking the towel basically in water.
I just didn't want to like step on the, like just the idea
Oh, I
of stepping
didn't know
on the
you're such
tub.
a germaphobe.
Oh, wait, so when you're at a hotel now taking a
1000%.
shower, do you bring the slippers in? Like you got like flip flops that you bring in?
I don't have shower. No, I don't have shower slippers now. No, I'm not that. Or I would just be on my tippy toes. Like, it's okay. Just hurry it fast. Hurry.
I can't wait to see this in person.
We're gonna be like, Alyssa, can you shower but keep
Yeah.
the door open? We want to see.
Okay.
See, they're drinking water now.
I know, that made me so thirsty.
I know, me too.
Also,
No, yeah,
we're freaking sweating. We're all in sweaters. Oh, we didn't mention happy first day of fall. That's why we're all wearing sweaters. But underneath, we're all sweating. I got like boob sweat right now, not gonna lie. It's so hot here.
Gotta get that
I'm
boob
not-
towel.
A boob towel.
Yeah.
What?
It just
Can you
holds
put
your
that in the
boobs, and
just
like
go
there's
like
like
this.
cotton to like absorb the sweat. So you don't wear a shirt, you just wear that.
No way.
I'll show you guys. I don't know if you'll want to get it though.
Stocking stuffers.
All right. So what are some superstitions that you were taught? I have a million.
Okay, well, we talked about where my parents never let me put like my bed facing the door because that means someone can just come and drag your legs out or something, like a freaking scary movie. And then now they always scare me. But yeah, every time if I like move my room around or move to a new room, they always have to make sure my bed is not facing the door and or a mirror. And then also, does this count as superstition? Or my parents make us eat like a bite of a noodle on someone's birthday?
Yep.
Yeah, because like the noodles, you're gonna live a longer life. So like it literally was just my dad's birthday and they ate noodles. I didn't eat it. He came in and he was like, take a bite. Then he started mumbling some Chinese stuff and I was like, sure. And then I just ate the noodles.
For sure. With your bed thing, my grandma always told me I wasn't allowed to have my bed facing like a window, like my head where my head goes on my bed, it couldn't be by a window. So like, and then my head also couldn't be like behind the door can't be behind me.
Yeah.
Like
There's so many rules.
We had one where on was it New Year's Eve, you have to have like round foods like grapes and like they have like the gold coins and like circle foods like crackers, and they would like make me eat it and I was like, why? And they're like, it's money. So we could be rich.
Wow, I didn't know that was why, but yeah, I eat 12 grapes every year. Don't know why.
12?
For every month.
Specifically?
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I only knew that part. I didn't know it was for money.
I don't know if your guys' parents did it, but my mom used to buy a lot of these like crystals that she would hang around the house, and she said that it would absorb a lot of like bad energy that went in. So she would have one that was closest to like the front door, and she's like, yeah, if there's like a bad spirit gonna go and come in, it's gonna go through the crystal instead of spreading out through the house.
When I was younger and like, you know how in middle school and high school you have hella textbooks, so like when you're done you kind of just like throw it on the floor and you move on to the next subject. I would get in so much trouble. She's like, don't put your books on the floor, it means like it's gonna make you stupider if you accidentally step on your books. I used to stand on my books, which is really bad. I don't know why. She would be like, don't stand on your books, gonna make you stupid.
Wow, I've never heard that one.
Your mom probably would have been mad at me because I put them underneath the DDR pads.
Why?
They're so
DDR,
sturdy.
it's harder surface.
Yeah,
Did
so
you have
then
carpet?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I
That's
did
why
have
she had-
carpet, but it moved. And if you put the books underneath, you're able to like actually like get it and like get into the.
Yeah, I think I
Push
stepped
the
on it to
button
like
down,
reach
you know?
stuff. Yeah.
We also put I feel like most Filipino superstitions are like money motivated, but like when you move into a house, you have to put coins in every single corner of every single room, so you never run out of money.
Are they still
You keep
there?
it on there forever?
No, okay, honestly, my parents, well, my mom specifically, when she grew up in the Philippines, she did not like any of the things they did. So in her mind, she was already American even before she moved here. So we kind of stopped doing that.
Back to the money thing. I'm not allowed to sweep like the floor. I can't sweep the floor when the sun goes down. Once the sun goes down, if I sweep, then I'm sweeping away all my money.
I heard that. Yes.
So like to this day, I still don't sweep at night. So every morning I wake up and I sweep.
There's also the one at Chinese New Year's. There's so many rules. Like you cannot wash your hair, I think, for 2 days or something. So like me, I need to wash my hair, and then we always have to go out on Chinese New Year. So like my hair is dirty by then, and we're not allowed to wash it. And you're also like not allowed to clean for like the whole, I don't know how long, because if you clean, you're gonna be doing that for the rest of the year. That's what they think.
Yeah, they say if you take a shower or you clean like during like the New Year's time, you're sweeping away all the good luck and all the wealth that people have been blessing onto you the whole time.
Wow.
You know what they did to
But-
me on New Year's? They, like, as soon as it hit midnight, my aunt grabbed my arms and stretched me all the way up. And she was just like pulling me. I was like, what the heck? She's like, you're gonna get tall this year.
Why does everyone want you to grow so much?
Just accept me, dang it.
I know. You're like, I'm 26, I can't
nimble.
grow no more.
I'm nimble. Can you go to sleep with your hair wet?
Oh.
For the Filipino culture, you go blind.
Oh, Asian
That's what
people
my
just
grandma
say
told me.
Chinese people, sorry. They say you get headaches.
You can get
They
headaches
told
or just
me-
get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just told me I would get sick, but I was like, literally never have I gotten sick from that.
Same. Or a headache. It just wakes up a little bit still wet.
I saw on subtle Filipino traits, and the girl, she's like, I'm gonna go to sleep with my hair wet tomorrow or not because I might be blind. I died.
How often do you eat out for Chinese food?
Rarely.
I would say the same. Like I feel like I have to crave it, or it has to be like we're all hella busy, so my mom will just be like, I'm getting Chinese.
And most of the time when I go out to eat, it's with friends, and I look forward. You guys know, like when I go to eat, that's like my cheat time. I don't want to eat Chinese food. I already have that enough at home.
And in college, I think it was at least once a week.
You love your Chinese food though. She goes to Jade China a lot.
You know what's funny? I stopped going to Jade. It lost its pizzazz for me.
Sad.
I know.
I don't crave Chinese food as much as I do Vietnamese food. Like no matter how many times I eat Vietnamese food, I'll always want it. And usually I only eat out more often is because I don't live with my mom. Okay, guys, so we're gonna go into some stereotypes of Asians. So, are you good at math?
The
Yes.
first and only class I ever failed in any school was freaking math class, geometry in high school. But also the teacher was
Wait, hold
really bad. And what
Who did
sucked-
you have? Who did you have?
Her name started with a B. I don't remember. What sucks is I had her again the next year, but I didn't fail. I got a C.
Wait, tell me, Catherine, tell me why the same exact thing happened to me.
Really? Tell your
What's
story.
her name? What's her name? No, okay, so same thing. I failed my sophomore year. I failed geometry my sophomore year, and then like had to retake it again my junior year and then they gave me the same teacher. I was like, how the heck do you expect me
Wait,
to
are you
pass
guys
if I
talking
failed the
about-
first time?
The old lady with
Yeah.
short
Oh,
hair.
Buttery.
Buttery.
She was a horrible teacher. I'm sorry. She was. I did not learn anything. I've never seen an F on my report card like that before. I was like, how do I hide this from my parents? Oh my gosh.
RateMyProfessors.com.
I know.
10 out of 10 would not recommend the butter.
But was she fire though? Did she have that chili?
Shut up.
Other than geometry, I'm really good at math, or I thought I was.
I feel like I can do math. I'm just not like amazing at math. Don't ask me a math problem that's like 5 things long. I will not be able to answer it with a calculator.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's true too. Like I didn't take like trig like a lot of
Yeah,
other people
same.
did. Like
Yeah.
I didn't get that far.
I think I'm okay at math, even though I'm a finance major. But don't ask me about fractions or doing some weird percentage. Okay, those aren't my thing.
It's okay. Fractions and percentages are like the same thing.
Okay, I'm an accountant, and I think I did pretty good, like all throughout, like up until high school, like really good at math. And then later after that, it just started dropping, and they said all of a sudden I don't know math. When we went to college, you know, it's funny because me and Tiffany we are like finance majors, but we both had remedial math class in college.
But it was so
So-
down though, because that class was so easy. I was like, why am I in here? I should have been in calculus and they're like, oh well, your things came in and it says you need this, and I was like, bullshit, I'm gonna pass this class with flying colors. Then that class is easy.
That class was hard for me. All right, so another stereotype. Are you a bad driver?
Love how Krista's answer.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Ask it, Krista. Ask it.
Okay, I'm not a bad driver. I'm just like, if I'm in the car with friends, I'm gonna pay attention to what you're saying.
She's
So
an
sometimes I'll
unfocused
skip
driver.
it.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
more
Even
to
if you're-
just us making fun of you turning around. Sometimes she just like doesn't notice, and then she'll slam the brake, and we're all just like, "Whoa!"
Really?
And then you don't notice you do that, like because you're not paying attention. Like you're listening to us. You're not just turning. You're also like hitting your brakes, and we're all just laughing while it's like
happening.
Yeah.
This is why Catherine's brave. Catherine sits in the front seat. I'm always like, oh, yep.
Well, she has
That is
the
true. Alyssa's never been in the front seat.
what is this called? Airbags. She gets the airbags.
I'm just a really bad, like, passenger driver. Is that what they call them, right? Backseat
You're a
driver?
backseat driver.
Oh,
I'm
She'll
so
be
bad
like-
at it.
You know you have room there, right? I'm like, okay.
I'm so bad.
I feel like
He
we're all
really
pretty safe drivers. I think so. I'm not like scared in anyone's car except Krista's. No offense. I'm not like terrified. I'm just a little like out of all of us, I'm scared of yours.
It does get a little risky in my car. Here's why. I always have to have an explanation. I have always had lower cars. Like one of my first cars was like really low to the ground, so like it would corner very well. Like I could take a sharp turn and like not feel it. But now my car is like raised, so when I take a sharp turn with like I'm used to, you definitely feel it, but I don't because I'm the driver. Because I'm like, this is how it's always been. So part of it is like I always had like a different kind of car.
I just don't drive crazy when you guys are in the car. My uncle always taught me, like, if you have passengers in the car, you have to be mindful of, like, bumps in the road. You have to be mindful of your stops because you're, like, carrying other people. So when I have passengers, I'm more cautious or more careful, like, about my braking.
Yeah, I think I overthink when you guys are in my car. I'm always like, oh, don't be a bad driver, and like make sure you brake early so you're not slamming it. Yeah. I start
If I'm
sweating
by
when I drive you guys.
What?
I just don't want to like scare you.
I'll put it this way. I love roller coasters.
yeah,
I do
that's
too,
why you're
but
right.
like
Your
not
car is
in
like
my
a roller
car,
coaster.
yo.
Krista's right. Like when you go in, it should be the beginning of like the Disney, how they say it. Make sure that you know all exits and have your seatbelt on at all times.
But did you die?
Oh,
We did.
almost.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty good safe drivers. I also, like, same thing with Alyssa too. My mom taught me to just be mindful of who's in my car with me. So I was just like, drive a little, like, I mean, I think I'm a good driver that drives pretty safely. I mean, I feel like I am a little bit more reckless when it's just me in the car. But when there's other people, I'm just like, okay, you know, just,
Well, Tiff definitely has road rage.
okay, people are assholes.
You're a
I
good
drive
driver,
as
but
we
you
can.
do yell.
I'm just like, this little fucker, like, Mr. BMW over here. Okay, are you gonna get in or not? Oh my God.
Tiffany, okay, but Tiffany will have something to say about any car driver. She's like, you know those Mini Coopers over there? They don't know how to drive. Those BMW drivers, they suck. Those Priuses, don't get me started on the Priuses.
Dude, Priuses drive either so fast or so slow. I'm like, can't you drive normally?
Do you eat rice with every meal?
No. I get tired of rice. I don't know how my parents like eat it every meal. In high school, when I gave up red meat for the first time for like those 4 years, I also gave up rice, and it was like so good. Like I did not miss rice at all.
It's like, I feel like it's almost like, I don't want to say a drug, but it's like once you start, like once you stop, you can stop. Like you're good, you cut it off. But for me, the minute I start bringing rice back into my diet, I'm like, dang, like I need more rice.
I think I just replace it with other carbs. So if I'm not eating like things with rice, I'll usually eat maybe like some kind of like pasta, or I'll just replace it with like just like a bigger meal. So like maybe just chicken and like vegetables, but I don't need rice for every meal.
I do prefer a noodle over rice.
Same.
You know, actually, I don't even eat rice unless it's like disguised in sushi because I don't even see it as rice.
Okay, next one. Can you sing? No.
Hey,
No,
but
I
I would
can't.
love to think I can.
Tiffany
it
can
just
sing.
says, can you sing? You can sing.
Okay, can you sing well? No. Tiffany
That
can
wasn't
sing.
the
Negative.
question.
Tiff, sing for us a little no, because you sing good.
No, I don't like singing in public.
Oh, all of a sudden she has a froggy
I
voice.
don't know.
I know.
Hey, you guys know I like to do weird sounds. Like I was talking to my coworker, I was like, "Yeah, I think I do a pretty good Yoshi. I'll do my Yoshi sound."
Okay, go.
Do it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I can't sing. I'm a
can't sing.
disgrace to all Filipinos.
Same, but I have a mic and I love to karaoke.
Same. We all love karaoke, but we can't sing.
Nope. Do you smile in your family portraits?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
smiles.
Yes, we smile also.
Awkward if you don't smile. I laugh at when you take the adults photos and they're just like
Why did
Dude,
they
but
do
that's how they
that?
were.
they just open their mouth, but it's like, why don't you just open it more and smile? I don't know.
Are they trying to smize?
No,
can't do it.
They just
Oh.
look bored.
Oh. My grandma says that she doesn't smile because she says it's ugly. And I'm like, no, you have a beautiful smile, so can you
Yeah.
smile? And she's like, it's ugly. I'm like,
Told her
it's
that.
not ugly. You doing this
I know.
That's
is
ugly.
more ugly than you smiling. So every time we take a picture, I always like make her laugh first, and then I take a picture. I'm like, look, see, it's nice. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, look at it, it's wrinkle. I'm wrinkled.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like,
Do you like Henny?
Yeah.
anything is possible.
That's
okay.
my
Hennessy.
that's my drink right now.
It's not my favorite, but it's okay.
My family
That's the
drinks
stereotype is that every Asian person likes to drink.
Especially the Bay Area people.
Yup.
it. My family's bougie though, and they get priv, so they drink a lot of privilege, Hennessy privilege.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, they're
Jeez.
bougie. But then like when there's a lot of us, we just buy the gallon. But I personally like tequila these days, and not Hennessy.
Yeah. I don't like darks. Unless they're
sure?
men. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Now, some more serious questions. Were you ever given words of affirmation? Were you ever praised? Told you were loved?
No, my family never said I love you. It was not part of anything that we said. And I would walk into like in high school, and I would walk into my friend's house, I would always hear like them say like, oh, love you, mom. And then or their mom say, all right, love you, like be safe. Like I was like, what did she say? What does that mean? Like I'm a halvesy. Like I'm not even like a full Asian.
I remember hearing people say like they would end their phone calls with I love you, and I'm just like, that's so cute. Like I would think it's so adorable when I hear it, and I'm like, we never had that. Like we don't even hug unless it's like a birthday, but even then it's kind of awkward hugs. It's just weird. Yeah.
I don't think my mom did any until like recently, and I say recently like now my niece is like 10 years old. I think after the first newborn, granddaughter, she shows more love and she says it, because I think I didn't really notice it until like recently that she started saying like, oh, love you, be safe, like after ending phone calls, and I'd say the same thing too. But I'm like, that never happened when we were growing up. So I'm like, what the heck changed? But I mean, I think it's nice, I usually give my mom like hugs and kisses, and she's just like, that's nice. She doesn't show it on her face, but I know that she likes it.
Yeah.
It means well.
Okay, I think I did get words of affirmation, but not necessarily from my like immediate family. It'd always be like relatives, but like it kind of like tapered off like in middle school, high school, because it's like a weird phase, and they're like, I don't know what I can say to you, but I think it came back in college.
I feel like my family's way of words of affirmation was like telling me to do better. Did you guys hear that a lot? Like my dad was my biggest critic, and he's Filipino, my mom's the Mexican one. And he was my biggest critic and would always be like, you could have did this better, you could have done that better, you could have done this better. And I'm like, okay, but I did this great. Like, damn, like it was to the point where I would literally be in tears because my dad just would put me down so much.
It's like when you tell them something exciting or like an accomplishment, immediately it's like a question of like about that thing, but it's not telling me good job or anything. It's just like, well, let me hear more about this so I can like criticize you on what you could have done better.
Same.
I don't really know if my mom had talks like that with me. I think because since I was the last one, she was just like, do whatever makes you happy. And if I talked to her about like a problem that I was having, she'd like listen to it and like try to give me advice on it. But she wouldn't push me because I think she realized that pushing my older sisters, back in the day, she's like, nothing was gonna work. So she's like, I'm just gonna let you guys have free range of whatever you want to do, and like whatever makes you happy, just go for it. Even though I know she complains about my sister sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
I
tell
think
her, I was like, the times back then when they were in school are different from now. It's expensive. I was like, a lot of us don't know where we're going, so you just need to give them time.
yeah. But I think it's also like important to note that all of us have very different kinds of parents.
I mean, she also knows I'll tower over her because I'm taller.
You listen here, little lady.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Were you ever grounded? And if you were, what was your punishment?
My parents didn't even know what that word was. It's like I never was like, you're grounded, but it's like you can't go anywhere because, they just don't let you go anywhere. So technically I was always grounded. I'm just kidding.
So my mom knew what grounded was. I think she got into like the American culture and she was like, okay, you're grounded. She did it to my older sisters, which obviously didn't work because even if she grounded them, they would sneak out. And she knew they sneaked
Perfect.
out. She wouldn't say anything because she's just like I said, why force them to do something if they don't want to do it, and just let them do it to get it over with and maybe they'll learn. But we never really got grounded, but we got punished. Like we got, like hit, like disciplined, the way Asian parents did it way back before. So
Yeah.
With their slippers?
it'd be slippers, it'd be belts, sometimes chopsticks or a broom, whatever was easily accessible.
One time I was just thrown out of the house. I was in kindergarten and they just locked me out, let me
What did you
cry in the front
do?
yard. I'm a good kid. I don't even know. I was so scared of getting in trouble. I just stood out there and kept crying, and I was not let in for a very long time.
I have a similar
You
story.
just sat there. Like you didn't try to go in the backyard and like ease your way back in.
I can't open the door. I can't reach it.
Oh.
So I just sat there and just kept crying. And I would watch cars go by and I'm like laughing in my head because I'm like, no one's like, I'm just literally out here locked out.
That happened to me. My mom kind of kicked me out. I still give her a hard time because I was like 10 and I had an attitude, major attitude at this age because my parents were like divorced and I was mad at the world.
Mm-hmm.
Out of me and my siblings, I took it the hardest. And so I'm like walking to my room, and in the middle of the hallway was like our laundry at the time. And I hit the laundry basket and I was like, whose laundry basket is this? And then my mom was like, mine. Like, what's your problem? And I was like, it's in the way. And she's like, I'm doing laundry. And I was like, well, it shouldn't be here. And like we just started like going at it. And then I was like, fine, I don't want to live here anymore. I'm going. And she's like, okay, call your dad. Tell him to come pick you up. So I called my dad. I packed up some stuff and he picked me up. And I stayed with him for like the weekend. And then I called my mom. I was like, Mom, can I come home now? And she's like, yeah. So then I came home and she took, so my room at the time was SpongeBob. She took all of my SpongeBob stuff out, threw it in the garage. Mind you, I had so much SpongeBob things. And she completely transformed it to Dora for my sister. And so I walked into my room. I was like, where's all my stuff? What happened to my room? And she's like, you don't live here anymore. You're a guest. You're going to go sleep on the couch.
Oh,
Like,
dang.
I'm 10 years
Real
old.
quick.
Talk about traumatized 10-year-old, let me tell you.
She did all that in a weekend. She's just so
Yes.
speedy with it.
Yes. God, salty, huh? Look at that. Yeah, Mom. I just told the whole world.
Whose idea was it? I'm pretty sure it's your sister like, Mom, she's gone. Dora.
Well, at the time, I was 10, so my sister's only 4.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, so she didn't have that idea. My mom's just crazy.
Wait, so did your sister end up taking your room?
Yeah, and then eventually we ended up like splitting it. Like my mom put like half and half. But it was a while. I had to earn it back.
Yeah, I never got grounded. I got grounded once, but like it was pretty much like normal life because they never let me go out anyway. So it was like, there's no difference. It's the same thing.
How did you ask your parents to go out?
I remember it was like always really scary. Because like I wasn't allowed to go out all the time. So like sometimes I'd pretend to like go talk to them and like talk about my day and then ask them about theirs. But like inside I'm not really listening. I'm just like my heart's racing. And like, I just want to go to the movies. It was always scary. I always had to pretend like be really nice, or like I would clean all the time and then I would ask. Or I would have my friends come over and I'd ask in front of them.
Ooh, yeah, that was the
Yeah.
best method. Just be like, can I go over to her house?
Yeah.
Like,
You can't say no, she's right here.
I
I'd
never
also
really
use-
had that problem.
really?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
my parents were divorced, so at that point it was kind of like, do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. We feel bad, we're terrible.
Oh.
My parents, like, I had to provide proof. Like, first of all, my parents could be the only ones transporting me. Like, if I was like, oh, but so and so's mom is going to take all of us, and my parents would be like, no, I'm going to take all of you. And that's why, like, you would always see them, like, picking us up and dropping us off because they didn't trust any other parent.
I think my
But-
mom was pretty chill with me going over to a friend's house as long as she knew who that friend was, so that she would know like which house I was staying at, which house she could pick me up at. But usually if there's times that she's in like in a bad mood, I would just be like, oh, can I just like go and hang out for like an hour or two? And she's like, well, who's gonna pick you up? I was like, their mom's gonna pick me up. Like she'd be like really mad. I think she was just like tired, where she'd be like, have your sister take you and she has to pick you back up. And I was like, okay.
And then your sister hates you because they always have to drive you.
Yeah.
Alyssa's like, yeah, being the freaking oldest.
Sorry.
That's me.
Did you guys ever have the thing where my parents used to be, okay, my dad was really chill about everything, but my mom was like, oh, you can only go out like once or twice in this amount of time. So like I would have to write down all my hangouts and then I would have to choose which ones were worth going to because she would only let me go to 2. Like that's how it was even in high school. It's crazy.
What, really?
Yeah. I didn't
No.
get to go to everything. She would make me pick. If I went too many times in a week, I would get in trouble.
I'm sorry. In high school, there was even more freedom. It was even better for me. But I'm a halfsy, so I don't even know if I count at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I had to host everything. So,
That's so
no, I
true.
couldn't really go out. They had to watch us.
Now I know why that we were always at your house. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, your house, sure. Back to that having different parents thing. Krista has the most loving and affectionate parents. They're just loving us too. We need that. No, I'm just kidding.
I appreciate it. How many instruments or talents were you encouraged to pursue? And then what were you not? What were you not?
Like not encouraged to pursue.
Oh, okay.
My sister, okay, so you know in elementary school, I think that's the first time they introduce you to like the violin. You can start in like the 3rd grade or something. And my
Yeah.
sister did it, and then I was given the option to, but I didn't have to because she already did it and they were just like whatever with me. But I was like, I want to get out of class like a few times a week, so I'm gonna go play violin. And then I wanted to do dance. Like I wanted to do dance since I was little. And I remember when we met Ruth and like she got to do dance and she was an Asian. I was like, why can't I do it? But my mom was like, no, that's like for boys. And I wanted to do hip hop and she was like, that makes you a bad kid. So I was like, oh my God, I can't do dance. And then I wanted to skateboard and she was like, no. So I didn't get to do anything. But then in high school, I bought myself a penny board and I came home with that and she was like, what is that? And she was like really upset because she said I look like a boy. But whatever, because guess what? After that, I got a nickel board, and then now I just got myself a longboard for my birthday. So
Hey.
Paula.
yeah, I am a boy. I'm just kidding.
I didn't even know you could skate, like skateboard.
I was never like told to play the piano or anything like all the other Asians I know. Maybe because it costs too much for lessons, they were just like, screw it.
They forced me to do like every kind of freaking instrument, like piano. They made me do voice lessons because they were pretty upset that I couldn't sing. Violin, like you, yeah. And then I did a little bit of flute, all of these things, and guitar. Did I mention that? And then I did ukulele. And I was pretty mediocre at all of these things. Like I just couldn't excel in them, because it just wasn't in me. And then fun fact, one of my piano teachers quit on me. Like I was that bad. She said to my mom, because also I felt like my mom was like pressuring me to do all these things. And then on top of that, I did dance. And I did all different kinds of dance. So it's not just dance one day a week, it was like 3. So all of these things combined, it's like a lot of pressure. And it's like my mom was like, you're never going to get into college unless you do it. So I didn't like any of that. But that's why my piano teacher quit on me, because I wasn't doing well. And second, she could just tell like I had no will to live because of all of it. And she's like, I think Krista would best, pursue other things. And my mom was like, I don't think I really saw the value in like what a lesson was. Like I see it now. Like if I had just like gone with it, I think I would have like tried a little bit harder, but like I didn't like the fact that like I had to do specifically these things. Like okay, she said do dance, but she made me do ballet and tap. But those were not the types of dance I wanted to do. I wanted to do like jazz and hip hop, like things that I was interested in. She said no. And then I said, okay, well, what if I do guitar? And she's like, no, piano. I was like, ugh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you want me to play an instrument, at least, like, I would say, maybe let me pick the instrument.
Yeah.
I wasn't pressured to play an instrument. My family just isn't really musically talented. Like, I don't have, like, very many family members who actually play a musical instrument and, like, are really good at it. But my family is really athletic, so I was, like, pressured to do sports. I got put into softball and like loved it, so there was that. Oh, a fun fact, when I was 3 years old, my mom put me in soccer, and she said that one day after a game, I like was sitting in the car and was like, Mom, I don't want to do soccer anymore. And she said, why? And I said, because I hate running. At 3 years old, I knew I hated running, still do. So I just kind of finished the season and never played soccer again. And so my parents just kind of like tried to put me in other sports. And then that's when softball came around.
I'm the same as Alyssa. I was never really forced to go into any instruments or like club activities. And I think that's also because my mom got tired of putting my older sisters in and realizing that they were like, I don't want to practice. I hate playing or I hate dancing. So she never like forced us to enroll in any of that. The only thing she really enforced us to enroll in was VIT school, and that was still awful, but she still forced us to do it. I still didn't learn shit. I only know like very basic words and food is. So.
I went to Chinese school for freaking 6 years and it was the worst. Every
Everyone
Saturday.
says the Chinese school is a lot harder too because the way you guys have to the strokes when you guys write.
Yeah, we had to learn how to write. They did my homework for me and then just sent me to school. So I'm like, what's the point? They just forced me to go for 6 years. And I still can't speak it well. I'm like Chinglish.
Chinglish.
I've never heard of that.
All right. How strict were your parents with your grades?
Not
I
very
kind of, same, like not really strict, but also strict. Like, again, out of my siblings, I am the golden child. I was supposed to be perfect, supposed to have all excel in all I do. My brother is really smart. My brother's really bright, but he's lazy. So he wouldn't do any homework, but he would ace all of his tests. So his grades always leveled out to a C. And his teachers were like, well, he doesn't do his work, but he passes the test. So I don't know what to say. And my parents were like, same. So they kind of just accepted it, you know? And then there's me. I'm like forced to just excel all things because my brother didn't. But I mean, I love school. I really like school. I guess that's why I'm a teacher. But
I think I was like lucky with this because they cared like in elementary and like middle school, but then once they got to high school, they didn't know how to check like school loop and stuff. And like when the grades came, I just grab it in the mail and they stopped asking with time. So then then they told me like, as long as you tried your hardest, that's fine. Just don't fail. So when I did not do well, I just didn't tell them. And when I did well, I told them.
Sneaky.
You know, it's funny. Okay, so I grew up in my household. It wasn't just like my immediate family. I also had my aunt here and my cousins. And my aunt would be like a tiger mom. Like it would be like 11 at night, and she'd be yelling at my cousins, like, "Why can't you spell California? I don't get it." Like I specifically remember that argument, and like my cousins would just cry and cry, and I was like, I remember feeling like I don't ever want to feel like that. So I like forced myself to always do my homework on time. Nobody ever had to ask me. I always had good grades, and I was very like I pushed myself like forever, ever up until college. Like I never had anybody had to scold me about it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get yelled at. But I also kind of did it to a fault, like in college. Like if I were to get like a C, I would get so mad at myself, and my parents would be like, "What's your problem?" I was like, "I'm getting a C." And they're like, "Are you really? Did you check the curve? Because I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a B. What's your problem?" And I was like, "That's not enough." And they're like, so they, I took it to, I did not want to get yelled at so much that like I had this ingrained. So I had my own Asian mom inside of here.
You instilled fear in herself.
Mine was if I didn't do my homework, then I couldn't play outside. So it was like, do my homework, then I can go outside. So that's why I did my stuff. My brother didn't do his homework, stayed inside. Telling you. I'm telling
She
you.
learned.
Yeah, I don't think they ever really cared about my grades, but I know that I always, because I wanted to get like my mom's attention, even if it would be a little bit, I would try to excel as much as I can to like get the good grades that I wanted to show her. But yeah, if it was bad, like how Catherine said, you know how sometimes they make you like redo it, right? And then they say, show your parents and get a signature. I'd be so scared. I'd go to my uncle and be like, can you sign this for me? It's for school. And he goes, yeah. Because my uncle doesn't read English very well. So I'd be like, okay.
Sneaky. Did your parents let you do or let you have sleepovers?
No.
A lot of convincing. Even if it was at my cousin's house too. I think it's mostly because my mom was like, "Oh, you're not comfortable sleeping at like another like a new environment. You're not gonna like it. And you're not gonna sleep, and you're gonna cry, and you're probably gonna call me." And it happened a few times before I got used to it.
Even at my cousin's, like my mom would think we're like doing something bad there, or like we're staying up too late because like she still wanted us to sleep at a certain time. And like even now, I'm too afraid to even ask to sleep over somewhere. That is so. I'm like 25 and I'm still afraid. But like I can like vacations, it's like a lot easier to ask. But like if I was just gonna be like I'm gonna go drink and then stay at someone's place, it's still weird for me to ask.
I had to fight my mom, like, to sleep over at people's houses. Like, even just to go to Alyssa's house, I had to really, like, beg, and she was like, no. And I was like, please? And she's like, let me meet her parents. I said, oh, you can meet her mom, because I think your parents are split already by that point.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, where's her dad? I was like, he doesn't live there. And she goes, okay, then you can go. Because it was just her mom. And she was like, does she have any brothers? I said, because your brother wasn't living with you at that point too. So I was like, no. And so that was the only reason she ever let me go. And because also she met your mom too. So must meet mom,
No
no
boys.
brothers, no dads, nobody.
So no men in the house.
Yeah, no men. Not even your dogs. Just kidding.
For me, I was allowed to go to sleepovers. I was allowed to have sleepovers, but again, I'm a Habsy, so I feel like the rules are a little different.
At what age did you guys start rebelling?
This is gonna be so embarrassing to answer. My sister rebelled real early. She was the oldest, so makes sense. And I think seeing her get in trouble also scared me, and I'm also just a big pussy. So like I really did not rebel until I hit college. And even when I was in college, I was like 10 hours away from her. And I was still scared of my parents finding out things I was doing. But then after I like started breaking more rules away from them, I was like, wait, they can't find me 10 hours away. So then I just like went crazy. And then now here I am, still crazy.
Living life,
hate
girl.
it.
Live your life.
I think I was in the 7th grade. How old would I be? 12?
Yeah.
I was 12.
Damn.
Right there on the cusp of the teen years.
Oof.
Oof was right.
I don't for sure in high school. Honestly, I don't know. Like
Well, did you ever have to be like really rebellious? Like
Yeah, that's a good
sneaking
point
out?
too.
Yeah.
I didn't really have to do any of that. I'd just be like, Mom, I'm going here. And she'd be like, all right, be safe. No drugs, no sex, no boys. I'm like, okay, bye.
I think I'm the same as Alyssa. I didn't really rebel. Like, I would say I probably got into a really heated argument with my mom, in which case, like, me and my sisters moved out. But I don't really call that rebelling because I never really did
Yeah.
anything that she wasn't expecting me to do.
Yeah. You guys can't answer this question.
What time was your curfew?
At what age though?
At what
Oh,
age?
okay.
I don't know. At any age?
As a kid, mine was because like once I did my homework, I was allowed to just be free. It was like when the lights turned on, the street lights. Then I had to come inside. But
Like
like
6?
yeah, whenever that was. And then as I got older, like into middle school and high school, I didn't really have a curfew. I
think
never
my
I never even had a bedtime.
Okay, my parents like
Dang.
wanted us to sleep by 9, and I would used to have to like put clothes under the door gap so I can watch my TV on volume 1 and read subtitles. And then I'm pretty sure in middle school, if I ever did get to go anywhere, like they picked me up and stuff, I would have to be home by like 8 or earlier. And then in high school, it's still like 10. And it was like you have to always ask if it's like a special occasion, if it can go to like 11. But I had a curfew for a pretty long time.
I think because I would run around so much, I would just like sleep wherever the heck I fell, whenever that was. But like if it got too late, they would like open my door. They'd be like, "Dude, seriously? Like it's late." Then they would turn the lights off, but they would like not tell me to go to bed, so I could still do whatever I wanted. They would never come a second time.
Oh, mine would.
I think in elementary school, my curfew was like maybe 8 or 9. And then during middle school and high school, I don't think my mom had a curfew. She was just like, just try to sleep so you can go to school tomorrow. Because she knew I stayed up late in those days that I procrastinated on school projects, and I'd be like, shit, this is due tomorrow. I gotta finish it. And sometimes I'd stay up until like 11 or 12 and then eventually go to sleep and wake up early to finish it. But she was like, as long as you finish it, as long as you turn it in, it's okay.
Were you ever criticized for your appearance? And were you ever compared to somebody else in your family?
Yes.
All the time.
Oh
I'm too
gosh.
dark, I'm too short, I'm too fat, too
Yeah.
skinny, all at the same time, whatever.
Seriously.
Yeah, same. Every family party, right?
Yes. They would also look at like what everyone's wearing and then compare it to you and be like, gosh, their body is so much nicer than yours. Like, why do you always wear this? Blah, blah. What? And then like when we had weddings, oh my gosh. Like they would always compare all the girls' dresses when we were young to like older and like who was the prettiest during the weddings. And I always was
Wow.
the ugliest because I didn't wear makeup and they always had to say something.
But
Yeah.
I have a Asian dentist, or I had my dentist was Asian and I loved her. She was amazing. She was my dentist forever. And then so Krista mentioned the minute that I got back from Europe, I not only was that my growth spurt, but I also slimmed down and lost all like my baby fat. And she like I went to the dentist after and she like pulled my mom aside and was like, "Is your daughter bulimic?" Yeah. And like my mom was like, "Well, did you check her teeth? Because you're a dentist and you could see if she was throwing up."
Oh.
it's true.
Oh, dang,
know.
Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, Drea.
I know. My mom had my back, but like an Asian dentist, really? You're just my dentist. You're not even my family.
Yeah.
I'm too skinny. Damn.
They don't care. They just say it.
You know what's interesting though? Like I had family who was in America for a long time and then family who is just kind of new here. But the family that was here for a long time, they don't compare us. Like they just learn to look at us individually. But the ones who have just moved here, like they are like, "Oh, that one's my favorite. That one's the prettiest." And that's just what I don't like about Filipino culture. I have to say, I'm really proud of my family that looks at us individually, and I think slowly they're like teaching the other family members that it's not okay to like, how are you really gonna say that one of us is the prettiest and that the rest of us are just like,
And it really be like
not
that at family
cool.
parties. Like all the aunties will literally just sit on the couch and talk about you in front of your face.
Yes, they don't
And
care.
I'm just like, Hello? What?
Yeah.
They call it socializing.
That's crazy. I used to get made fun of for my feet. I'm tall. Of course I have big feet. Like, what do you, I can't wear a size 5. I'm 5 feet tall, like 5'4". Like,
How's that gonna hold me up?
I'm gonna be falling over. I can't walk. I hate
Yeah,
it.
this is total same. I think most of it was either like my grandma or like you guys, also like my aunts, but it was mostly aunts on my dad's side. They were really obnoxious, and they would tell me and like my other sister, they'd be like, "Oh, you guys didn't turn out like your other sister. So pretty, so much more like, skinnier." I'd be like, "Well, fuck you guys too."
Yeah. Like everyone would like be stick skinny and like straight bodied, but I was the only one that had like a little bit more meat, and then I'd be like the fattest thing. My nickname was literally translate in Chinese as fat girl, and they called me that the entire childhood, and it messed with me. But that could be totally other podcast.
What?
It was so bad. Like they don't even understand what that did to me.
Yeah, same. I'm
goodness.
so insecure. Like, even
Yeah.
to this very day, I'm still very insecure about myself.
Yeah.
So when your aunts, right, and grandmas, when they like put you down, did they ever bring up their own children up? Like, oh, you're so fat, but did you see my daughter?
I mean, they
Oh,
put down
she
their
got her
kids
nursing
too.
degree.
Yeah. I mean, they also hype up their kids, but they also put down their kids.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, same.
Okay.
Rough.
Last question.
Well, with that off of our chest, do you guys see any positives of growing up in an Asian American household?
I think kind of like Krista said, like it teaches you discipline. And I think even though it was sometimes like too much, they taught me a lot of manners. Like I feel like I know how to be respectful to not just like elders, but everyone in general, because they always taught me how to treat people when I go into someone's house, how to be like respectful. And it like I forget that not a lot of people grow up like that, because I go meet some people who are like not Asian maybe, and like they have absolutely no manners, and they don't come into someone's house and like think, do I need to take off my shoes, or like should I keep them on, or like how to treat people. And then that's how I'm like, oh, I learned this because they taught me. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I agree with Catherine. Even though, we all grew up with like different kind of parenting styles, I think I learned a lot from my mom, and given the fact that she kind of just taught us to just be respectable kids, like not only in our own home, but also, in other people's homes, just to make sure that you greet everyone's parents and, say hello. Don't like be disrespectful. Just do as much as you can to be polite when you're in someone else's presence.
I would say I have two things I learned from Asians, but it could be just my family. I don't know if it's because we're Asian. So one is that we're very forgiving, because like, well, when I went back to the Philippines, I heard all the family drama and whatever. I was like, why are we still talking to them? Why are we still talking to each other? And they're like, oh, because at the end of the day, we forgive each other. And I was like, that really resonated with me. And I was like, oh, I thought we'd be here with the bad blood. And they're like, no, like, it doesn't matter what happens to us. We like forgive people for what they do, and they like credit it to their like Asian upbringing. And then also like they also taught me that we don't have to continue certain things. Like I told you like about the what is it, the not conspiracies, what were they called again? Superstitions. They're like, yeah, we stopped doing that because we know that it's not real. And like it's like really interesting to me that like you can see something that and not believe it and just stop it. Like you don't have to continue for no reason.
Yeah, I
Wow,
think
that's
my family
good.
cannot relate to those two things.
Not at all. Me too.
Yeah. It might just be your family.
My weird family.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to answer because again, I'm a halfsy, so I feel like I'm more American, even though I do have Asian tendencies. So I don't really know where I stand.
Okay, well, I have another one. I think them coming here, like immigrating here, and like I heard their stories when I had to do a report in high school, and I actually didn't know all these things. And like a lot of my family, they're entrepreneurs. We all have such very diverse jobs too. I think it taught me to be very hardworking, because like my parents didn't really help me either. Like they didn't speak English well, so like me, my sister, and brother were always translating, and we had to learn things really young. Like at 8 year old, they want you to like learn how to read like documents that we don't even understand. And so like it taught me to just figure things out. And I think that helped me with like my small business and stuff, because like I see my aunts and uncles have their restaurants and things like that.
And help to mature yourself, because you have
Yeah.
to kind of step up to help your parents.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say that I'm very grateful that my grandma came here. I feel like that's a lot of where my strength comes from and why, like, I want to make a name for myself. One thing that me and my sister, I've said this before, that we always say is like, what's your last name? And we always go Regine, like that's the name on my back, that's the name I'm representing. And so I feel like that's super important because it took a lot for my grandma to get here, and I learned a lot about her story. And so I wanna wear that well.
Yeah.
I think I learned to like repurpose things a little bit more, just because Filipinos will make anything out of whatever they can find.
Well, we love to be Asian. We love Asian food. We love our culture.
All right, you guys, that's it for our podcast today. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you back next week. Stay bitchin'.
bitchin'.
Bye, peaches.